Hi, Shauna Holt, and today I want to talk about adrenal fatigue symptoms that you may not even realize you have. More and more people are suffering from stress related conditions these days. I, for one of those people. Maybe you can even relate to the story that I shared last night and are starting to wonder if you too may have adrenal fatigue symptoms. If you didn't catch the video, it's public. It's just go back last night. Thank you for all the support. Well, today and the rest of this week, I want to share with you all the research that I found when I was trying to figure out what was wrong with me. So, the negative impact of stress can affect many areas of your health. One area in particular that can be adversely affected is your adrenal glands. Now, these adrenal glands are located near the kidneys, and they produce the hormones that are needed for the body to function properly. Stress adversely affects these glands because when the body is under severe stress, the glands start producing more hormones to help the body cope. It's that fight or flight reaction. The main hormone is called cortisol, which regulates metabolism and your response to stress. So, of course, in some circumstances, a stress response is needed. Like if you're trying to, get out of a burning house, or, you've just burned yourself on the stove, it's you need that stress response. But when you have stress experienced over a long period of time, those glands weaken, and this negatively affects your body, and it may result in adrenal fatigue. So I'm going to share with you 5 adrenal fatigue symptoms that and they may be common, and you may just think they were something else, just like I did. So number 1 is excessive, unexplained tiredness. Now, I get that if you have a newborn that you're not getting enough sleep and you're going to be tired. I believe me, I know that. I've had enough kids too, which I thought that's just what messed up my whole body. But adrenal fatigue makes a person very tired. This is because under stress, the hormone levels are elevated, and it makes it harder to fall asleep. And over time, the body's cortisol levels are affected, and this leads to the body being in almost a permanent state of alertness. Now, all of this can affect the ability of a person to fall asleep or to get good quality night's rest. It could be that a person thinks he's getting enough sleep, the recommended 8 to 10 hours, but you still wake up feeling tired, and you need something to be able to get you through the day. Number 2 is cravings, especially for salty or sugary foods. Now, one way that adrenal fatigue affects the body is to lower the blood sugar level. Now, when this happens, cravings for foods that will give you an increase of energy, therefore, you're grabbing for usually sugary foods, foods high in sugar. Whenever you're having under that stress, you're wanting to grab the comfort foods, and it can cause you to eat even more of them. Adrenal fatigue can also result in cravings for salty foods. So this is because the adrenal glands affect how the kidneys regulate mineral fluctuations. And when we suffer from fatigue, the body releases more minerals whenever you pee. So this can increase the desire for salty snacks to fill that loss. Number 3 is having a roller coaster ride of energy with a heightened amount of energy late at night. Now, I know this one all too well. I would wake up tired because I didn't get good quality sleep. I felt like I just couldn't function without plenty of caffeine when I first got up. Usually cortisol reaches a peak in the morning. So I'd have a good spurt of energy, maybe around 10 or 11 a.m., and followed by that mid-afternoon crash. And then it started to rise again in the evening around 6 or 7 p.m., just in time to get dinner on the table. And then I would start to feel sleepy around 9 o'clock, but that was too early to go to bed. You need to be awake until your kids are asleep and everything is taken care of. So I would push through. And then about 11 o'clock, I would get this burst of energy. And I always just put this off as being a night owl and that I got more work done at night. But I was wrong. This was a symptom of it too. Number 4 is difficulty in handling stress. Now, the normal body's response to stress is to release specific hormones so that stress can be handled effectively. Now, the 3 specific hormones are cortisol, adrenaline, and norepinephrine. And knowing how these affect the body helps us understand the relationship to stress. So cortisol, it gives the body extra energy, enough to cope with the stress. It increases memory function and it lowers sensitivity to pain. However, the body needs a rest period after the cortisol has been released in stress-related situations. If a person is suffering from adrenal fatigue, rarely do they get to have that rest period. And over time, less and less cortisol will be produced. Adrenaline, probably the most well-known stress response hormone, this gives us that initial burst of energy needed to respond to stress. Once again, adrenal fatigue will affect the amount of this hormone, therefore the response to stress is reduced. And then norepinephrine. This hormone helps the brain to focus on the stress. Without this active hormone, the response to stress could be described as a brain fog. So you may be having brain fog because you're not having that hormone, active and being released. The 5th is to have more infections. Cortisol helps to regulate the immune system in the body, and cortisol works as an anti-inflammatory. So too much cortisol over an extended amount of time hinders the response to the immune system. And this results in having more infections. On the other hand, if the adrenal glands are so weakened that they produce too little cortisol, then the body's response to overreact to infections, resulting in certain autoimmune disorders. So, while very important pieces of adrenal, this medical puzzle are still missing because many doctors don't even, say that adrenal fatigue is a condition. There are 5 symptoms that most people seem to experience, and these were unexplained excessive tiredness, cravings of the sweet or salty foods to, again, help you stay awake, energy roller coaster ride with the extra burst of energy late at night, and a lowered immune system. So, do you have one or more of these symptoms? Let me know in the comments below. I know I've already had some ladies reach out to me that actually were saying, yes, I have all of that too. I'm going to be giving you some more information and tips on how to deal with adrenal fatigue throughout the rest of the week. And if this information was valuable to you, please, give me some love. If you know someone that this would benefit from hearing it, please share it with them. And I hope that you have a great rest of your night.